Hey guys, what's up party people? It is day 20 of 10 minutes of exercise. 1 day left after this. So yesterday was a bye day, didn't happen. And we've only had one other day out of this so far 21 days where I did like a meditation thing, but I still guided you and told you what to do. So today we're gonna do something a little bit longer. We're gonna do some tripod headstands, and I'm gonna give you some foundational work to work on while you can get into this. And you can either just hold the positions while I'm doing them and work on your balance, or you can do the sequence that I'm gonna do, because we're gonna do some crazy fun stuff. So you might just be in some small bits and pieces, but 10 minutes is gonna go by really quick. So let me back the camera up just a little bit, okay? So ideally, yeah, you'll be working on a yoga mat, okay? So if you have something that's super thick, like one of those super thick Pilates mats, get rid of it, okay? If it's super soft and squishy, why? Because if it's so soft and thick, it's not gonna have the feedback and the response that you want. It might be more cushy for the top of your head or your hands or your knees or everything else, but really it's not the best when you're practicing a handstand practice at the beginning, in my opinion. If you're more advanced, intermediate advanced like I am, I would use something softer that is kind of mushy, because I'm gonna have to work harder to keep the balance, right? So it's kind of like an extra physical challenge. Okay, so let's look at this. Let me set the clock here and see where we're at. So we're at 3:33. Hey, it's all threes. That's gonna make it really simple. So if you're new to tripod headstands, we're really gonna be taking weight in the head, but it's also gonna go into the neck, okay? And people are always really scared and wanna be cautious, because when you're taking that weight, right, you need to be cautious of your neck. So if you've never done that, sit in an upright position, clasp your hands, take it, and put it on top of your head. And then you're gonna pull down, like you're kind of like someone's trying to push your head underwater while you're standing up. Okay, see what it feels like to have that resistance pulling down on your head and your neck. And notice how the neck starts to balance it, right? If you lift the chin, you tuck the chin, if you roll the head left and right, right? Ideally, you want to have everything stacked, okay? Now, what a lot of people do is when they go into a tripod headstand, instead of staying in a neutral spine or a neutral neck, right, they tend to tuck their head. And if you feel the top of your head, right, there is kind of a flat spot in the center, but it's in the centerpiece, right? The front of the dome is kind of rounded this way, the back of your head is rounded back here, so it's kind of hard to find that flat spot, but hey, some people have flatter heads than others, and it makes it easy too. Now, if you have a bunch of hair, you've got a big mop of hair, one thing or another, you know what, this might not be the best thing for you, but you're gonna have to work on sticking and getting the weight to go through your hair and into the floor so you can find that nice flat spot. So if we just sit here, we go like this, you notice that if you lift your chin or tuck it or let it move and go back and forth, right, there's a lot of, in the front and back, there's a lot of areas where it can just easily break, yeah? And by break, I don't mean break your neck, but in the sense of like, you know, an ankle rolling left and right, it can roll easier than it can go front and back, right? So the same thing's gonna be here. Now, when it comes into the setup, okay, so this is a good start right here. Now, a good tripod headstand, what is a tripod? A tri means three, and we're doing something that's in a triangle. So you want this perfect looking triangle, okay? So if you get something that's like this, right, where the two sides are really long, yes, that's not the same. So we want like an equilateral triangle, going back to geometry, where all three sides are perfectly the same, okay? So what I was taught when I started doing tripod headstands, okay, as you get on your knees here, let me scoot back a little bit, yeah? As you get on your knees right here, you're gonna put your hands right by your side, and you're gonna tuck your thumbs under your knees, yeah? So it would look not like this, not like this, not like this, here, yeah? The thumbs go under the knees, and because of that, you notice that my wrists are in line with my shoulders as well, so that way when I bend, I go up like this, yes? So, right here, yes, my hands and my thumbs are going under my knees. From here, I bow down, and I'm going to tuck my chin just a little bit, and now I roll onto the top of my head. Okay, so this, let me move this down a little bit, and then we're gonna get into some of these. Okay, so you don't want to just place your head on the forehead or forehead on the ground, so that way when you go forward you have to lurch forward, then you're going to be too far forward, yes? So you want a small tuck of the chin, you come in, you come up, and now we're stacked right here. Notice how my wrists are also underneath my elbows the entire time, so never is my hand going to be behind where my elbow is, nor is it going to be forward, right? This is changing what your triangle looks like. Okay, so from here, if this is a beginner tripod, you've never done this, maybe you want to tuck your toes, which I hate, but we can do for right now. you're going to push into the ground just a little bit and try to get your knees off of the ground so you can take some weight into the head. Now this energy wants to push forward, but I'm also going to lift my chin to try and keep it in place. See what this feels like. Maybe this starts to feel good. Maybe it feels like, right? This is where you're going to explore as a complete beginner, starting to do your tripod headstands. Okay, now maybe we want to go into something a little bit higher. So we can work on extending the legs and getting up a little bit higher. Now, right now, I'm not really using the arms so much, but if you push in, you should be able to push straight down from here into the elbow and straight to the floor, okay? Don't let the elbows start to flare out or fling out, and I will show you this when I face the camera directly, okay? Now, maybe this is going good. Now, if you're also brand new to this and you're gonna try and do a float and you're not sure if you're gonna do a float, I highly recommend doing this in front of a wall behind you. That way, if you start to fall over, and by the wall, you should have, I don't know, maybe 4 to 6 inches, maybe a little bit more space between where your head goes up and the back of you, okay? So that way, if you fall over, you can actually, you don't fall over, you feel the wall, you can push yourself back down, because there's nothing worse than trying to do a forward somersault out of a tripod headstand. Even at my level, A, I don't fall, but B, because I don't want to fall, and it feels like shit when you have to tuck and roll and try to come out of it, okay? So use that to your advantage, okay? Everybody has an empty wall that they can use. So once again, I come in here, I tuck my chin, I start to come up. First, I tuck the toes, I lift, this is good. Maybe I want to go a little bit higher. Okay, we're good. Maybe from here, you're ready to go a little bit further. So maybe you'll just start by putting a knee or something to the outside of your tricep, but you can put your knee right on top of your elbow. That way the energy gets pushed down into the hand. And from here, don't do this jumping crap, okay? Use your hands to push so you can bring the other knee off of the ground, okay? This would be your first step. Now, this is going to be harder because when you're in this position, all of my weight is not stacked over my neck, and it makes me want to come back to the starting position, which means good because that is your exit strategy, okay? But you have to work harder to hold it because you're in this rounded position, falling towards where you're coming, okay? As you get stronger, as you get better, as your head starts to understand how to balance some weight, you go from this position right here to this position right here. And as I push my hands into the ground, it allows me to go back a little bit further. But more importantly, I need to neutralize my spine, but I'm starting from my head, right? And I'm thinking about, see, I'm in a rounded position, so typically I would say tilt your pelvis and that will put you in a neutral spine, but you can't do that. So I need to think about arching my back from my neck into the shoulders, into the mid-back, to bring my hips and everything off of the ground. Okay, I'm always 51% to this side. That way, if I ever have to bail, I come down over here. It's my hands that are pushing me and preventing me from going over, okay? Because if I go too far, then I'm going to topple and roll over, and that's going to feel like shit, okay? So we want to always stay 51 degrees to this side over here so that we can always come back out, okay? That is like hand balancing. When I'm doing a true handstand, I am 51% falling into my hands so that my hands have something to push back on, okay? If I am 51% towards my entry side in a handstand, I can't keep it, just like with this, yes? Cool. All right, so now, we're going to start to do some of these. Either you're just working on getting up. Let me show you from this angle, from the front angle, so you can see me. 2. Okay. Dude, all my gel comes off into the mat here, and it looks like I have crazy dandruff, but I don't. Okay, so I come into this position. Yes. You can see how my elbows are flaring out. Squeeze your elbows in so they stay in line with your shoulders. Just like the hands need to stay underneath the elbows. Yeah, the elbows need to not flare out, right? And remember, I'm in line with my shoulders. Bad tripod, okay? Not to say you can't do a tripod headstand like this, but this is less efficient, yes, and less body aware of what's happening than keeping it in line here. It's going to be more tricepy, yes? Squeeze it in, you come in, knee, knee, boom. From here, I'm going to push with my hands and think about arching from my neck and my upper back into the center to roll myself into a float, okay? So once you start to get into this, this is something you want to hold. Nice, subtle, slow movements, because people who move fast or do sudden reactions are usually the people who fall and eat shit while they're trying to do something like this, okay? So this is where you're starting at right here. So we're going to do some sets of this. You know, this is the end of my workout, but we're going to look at doing some abs with this, and it's going to kill you while you're doing it, okay? So let me tilt this up just a little bit more So we're looking at less of the floor and more of the tripod headstand, okay? And we're gonna look at what time we're at because we started 10 minutes. Where are we at right here? What does it say? Yeah, we got a few minutes left. So you're gonna be good for a couple of sets. So maybe you're just trying to hold it, what's a good number? 30 seconds at a time, maybe a minute. And then we're gonna start to do some abs and going up and down. So I'm gonna show you a few sequences that are really good. Okay, so number one, we're gonna come in, you straighten your legs, and maybe your baby stepping up and you're holding right here, or maybe you're in a nice float right here, okay? If that's working really good for you, maybe you want to open up, maybe you want to have a straddle, yes, where the legs are down low. I'm totally off center with the phone here. I should probably scoot over just a little bit. Boom, yeah, so that I can come over right here. Boom, of course I can, reset, right? Or maybe, now do you look at my hands? I just reset really quickly. Do you see how high or how wide my hands are compared to my shoulders? Squeeze the elbows in. That's an improvement, but my tripod is a little bit wider than I prefer. So I'm gonna come back and readjust that. Boom, right? This is because I didn't take my thumbs and tuck them underneath my knees before I went up that second time. Boom, look at that, better and up and go. Good, so now we're just gonna hold here. Squeeze it right as soon as you start to get comfortably, like, ooh, look, I'm balancing. I don't have to think as hard. And then the elbows start to go out. Squeeze them together. If you have elbows that tend to flare a lot, get yourself a yoga strap so that the arms can't go out. Bend the knees. I actually did a bunch of shoulders and triceps today, so my body is killing me right now. Boom, come down, open, right? We want to make it look good, nice and slow, subtle movements. Bring it here, close, and back. Good, take a couple breaths for here. I'm gonna tilt this up a little bit more. We're gonna do another set. We're gonna do some abs, okay? You can come back and do as many sets of these as you want to. Yeah, I'm just telling you what you should be doing and could be doing because I already did a bunch of workout today for an hour. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a little ab sequence that I do at least once a week, if not twice, with my tripod headstands. I don't know how I feel about this mat right now because even though it is thick and dense, it's also a little too thick and mushy, like I was saying, and I don't know if I want to work that hard, but I'm going to do one set for you with it just like this, okay? Okay. So we're going to go into our set once again, keep everything nice and tight. We roll up. Maybe you're baby stepping. Yes, maybe you're coming all the way up. Maybe you're all the way up here. Yes, stay 51% into the hands. That way you always have something to push back with. Open up. Down to a straddle. Good. Bring it down, touch, and push back up. How do you push? Use your hand pushing into the ground. It's going to be triceps. Yes, keep the legs straight and locked out, whatever straddle you have, and you're tucking at the hips and then the pelvis. Touch. Ooh, baby. All the way to the top. Good. Two more. Straddle, hold, tuck, touch. Oh, damn. My shoulders be killing. Last one. Straddle, tuck, touch. Yeah, and maybe nice and slow. Look at my elbows flaring out. I'm a bad person. Squeeze, Brandon. Close it. Heels back, knees forward. Down to the floor. Open and back. That's what it could be. And you just start there. I'm going to do one last set. This is really hard, okay? It's fun hard. But you definitely need a mirror. You definitely want to use your phone. And so we're going to work on our straddle and we're going to work on our rotation while keeping the straddle perfectly flat. Okay, so if somebody put like a broomstick on there, it wouldn't wobble or fall or anything like that, yeah? Hydrate. Okay, last little set. So now we're going to go back up, go right to our straddle, and you're really going to want to try and squeeze your elbows because as you start to twist, right, we're going to start to twist from side to side, but instead of twisting from the upper body, it's going to be the lower body that wants to rotate. And this is going to be hard because you're going to start to wobble and stuff as well as you go back and forth. All right, last one. Boom, here, up to here, okay? Nice straddle. Look at my elbows flaring out, squeeze together. From here, twist. How do you twist? Ooh, it might be small. To the left, to the right. But what happens if I really go and I'm not thinking? Do you see how one side goes high and another one goes low? Keep it low and balanced as you twist and rotate. Look at that. There we go. Right, the elbows can flare a little bit as you really twist from side to side. Boom. Keep those legs locked out nice and straight. Don't forget to point through your feet. We're always thinking about many different things from side. Ooh, I get like 3 or 4 of these per set, and then I'm done. One more time. Oh my God. What do you think about that? That was just 10 minutes, man. Yeah. Let's see where we're at. Okay. So that was about 15 minutes right there, which is pretty good because I skimped out on you yesterday. So take all of that. That could easily be a 30 to 45 minute session just doing a few small things here, right? Always the foundation of a solid tripod, right? I get it. Everybody wants to run before they can walk, but you need to be able to understand how to do balance before you can do the other things. So you might want to spend a lot of time there just on your head, maybe working on different positions, feeling what it's like to get a little wobbly as you go back and forth so you can make those recoveries so you can have a stronger balanced practice, versus just trying to do the cool shit and it always looks mediocre. Yeah? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. It's the final day of the 21 days of 10 minutes of exercise. Till tomorrow.